Greetings, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. A fun fact for you about my video planning process is that most of the videos that I film are things that I find whilst planning other videos. And that is why a lot of the time when I upload, I have like a few videos that are like weirdly similar back to back. And that is because I'll be going down one rabbit hole and then I find something that leads me down a different rabbit hole, and then I'll find something that leads me down a different rabbit hole. And anyway, the point of me telling you that is today's video is one that I accidentally and unfortunately stumbled upon whilst I was planning my Toxic Boy Moms video. And I just couldn't keep this separate. I couldn't not make an entire video about this because it pissed me off beyond belief. And I have so many things that I need to say. And so then I, spent a day spiraling down here and compiling. I have 70 things saved. 70 things saved to this folder. So, I clearly went all in. Anyway, what that is, the rabbit hole that I fell down that I desperately need to speak about is parents who say they are raising their kids right. And I've got to give them credit where credit is due, because these parents are indeed raising their kids right. And by right, I mean politically right. They are raising conservative children. As far as right being their parental methods are right and correct, no, I'm gonna have to hard disagree on that, and the purpose of this video is for me to tell you exactly why I hard disagree with them claiming that they are the masters of parenting, because I think, for the most part, these parents that I'm about to tell you about, one day in the future, will be the people that would feature in my estranged parent videos. They are gonna be the people who are in those estranged parent Facebook groups being like, why doesn't my kid ever talk to me anymore? All I ever did was love them. That's going to be them. And we're going to talk about why. And if you enjoy this video, please do not forget to leave a like and a comment. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me about how your parents raised you. Have a little bit of a vent and a conversation. And most importantly, if you are not already, please do subscribe. I am trying to hit 500k by the end of the year, and I am presently, as of filming this video, 10k away from that. And we have a month to do it. And my current average monthly increase is 2k. Really need to step up the game a little bit if we want to get there. I would really appreciate it. Subscribing is also the single best way to help me in the algorithm, so I really truly do appreciate it. And while I am yapping about myself here quickly for a minute, I wanted to let you know that I am presently running a discount over on my Patreon in celebration of me starting to work on new music next year. I have created a discount code, which is new music 25, all caps, no spaces, and you can get 25% off your first month on any tier. And that includes, my videos a day early and with no ads. It includes outtakes, video scripts, songs in the making, behind the scenes stuff, all of that. There's a lot of stuff that is available for you to check out if you want to go give it a try. New Music 25 for 25% off. I'm really excited to start doing music and also share more with you all. So yeah, music is incredibly expensive to make. I think a lot of people don't realize that, but it costs a lot. So your support really does help me out, and I do appreciate it. Thank you. And let's get into it. Let me tell you a little bit about why these parents claim they are raising their kids right. And the methods of parenting that these people are using and what they are claiming is the right way to raise a child is gender roles. Thus, my t-shirt choice today. These are the parents that are like, I have a male child, so I will be raising him as a boy, because I never want to hear the words, I want to be a girl, come out of his mouth. He is a boy and I will be raising him as such. And the funniest part about these though, this genre of TikTok, is unfortunately there is a lot of them, obviously. But they all are so delusional. There is such a mass delusion around people who think this way, because so many of them will include in their post being like, I'm gonna get hate for this. People in today's society won't like this. This is going against the norms and what everyone wants. And firstly, these videos are getting hundreds of thousands of likes sometimes. Secondly, what world are you living in? I just don't understand. their view of the world and how they have managed to delude themselves into thinking they live somewhere they absolutely don't. Like, guys, I need all of these parents, all of these people to sit and think for a second about, like, the current governments, right? Like, most of these people are American. There's a conservative government in power right now. He was voted in. Like, he won the election. The majority voted for a conservative government. Like, there are anti-trans, anti-queer, like, legislations being actively, like, spoken about and, like, rolled out. Like, you cannot be sitting here being like, society hates me, I'm going against the norm. You are the norm. And, like, acting as though people saying that they are allowing their kids freedom of choice don't get hate. You're insane, actually. Like, you are fucking delusional, being like, I get hate for telling my son he's a boy. Whereas all the people who are raising their kids with choice, they're being praised. Where are you living? What are you looking at? I would love to know what you're talking about right now, because you are spending so much of your time and energy yelling at those people. So, like, they're clearly getting hate to the point where, like, you are actively campaigning and, like, making law changes. That's how much hate you're giving them. So, shut up. Oh my God. Anyway, let's have a look at some of these and actually, like, talk about what these specific people are saying and how frustrating it is. Note that, as per usual, most of these TikToks are posted by mothers and not fathers. And I sometimes hear people saying that, like, I'm being misogynistic or targeting women. That is not at all the intention. It is just the fact that because in these conservative households and conservative families, mothers are the ones who largely take on the childcare role. They are the ones who care about their children. Fathers are not posting about their children. They're barely spending time with their kids. It's all mothers who post this stuff because they're the only ones who are involved in their kids' lives. So dads don't get talked about because they're barely around. So let's start with the first one I had the misfortune of coming across. It is a woman sitting on the floor and doing her makeup in a mirror, and then next to her is her young son, who's probably, I don't know, 1, 2, and he's got some trucks on the floor, and he picks up a makeup brush, and this is how it goes.
No. Makeup's for girls.
Yeah.
You can play with your truck though. Show mommy.
So yeah, and on screen she wrote, "It really is that easy." And, like, girl, you're ridiculous. Like, straight up, these people are actually ridiculous. They're absurd and delusional. Like, this kid is so young. Well, he's just curious. That's literally it, is he's curious about the world and he wants to, like, figure things out in the world around him. Like, he sees you doing something, so he wants to do it. He doesn't know what it is or what it means. He just wants to, like, experience things and have fun, right? Like, makeup means nothing to him. He's just like, oh, mommy is doing that, so I want to do it. I want to copy and learn. And, like, that's a natural thing for him to do. What do you think is going to happen if you just, like, let him do that? Have fun? Oh no! A child enjoying something. What a freaking tragedy. Man, that sucks. That's so horrible. I hate when kids enjoy things that society says they're not allowed to enjoy. He is, like, 1 year old, bro. I have more to say about this, but I want to show you another one because there are multiple of these. Like, this is something that a lot of people post. I feel like a lot of the time it is set up by these mothers just doing it to be like, look, I'm such a good mother because I hate self-expression and I force gender roles on my kids. Look how great I am. So here's another one and then we'll talk a bit more about it.
Are a what?
Boy.
God made you a boy. So when mommy does her makeup, she does it because she's a girl. So does that mean you do it?
No.
That's right, because you are a
Boy.
Amen, okay? And you're a handsome boy that God made you.
Yeah, boy, not too.
Girl, it is not that deep. It is not that deep. These are the same people who say that we force our ideas onto children. They say that we're forcing our gender ideology onto children. When, like, what we do is we sit here and go, hey, kids, do what you want. Have fun. Nothing means anything. Nothing is for boys, nothing is for girls. Just do what you like, and that's what you like. Whereas these people sit here and they're like, you can't enjoy this because you have a penis. So you can't have makeup. But like, we're the ones who are like being weird about our kids' bodies. Like, you are the one who is sitting here and like dictating what they can and can't enjoy because of what genitals they have. We're not out here doing that. And like, the argument that these people have is that they don't want to confuse their kids. Well, I have to stop my son from playing with makeup because if he plays with makeup, then he's gonna get confused about his gender. He's not gonna like understand. If he's doing girl things, he'll get confused about whether or not he is a girl and not a boy, and we don't want that. Do you not understand anything? Like, I don't understand how it's not basic common sense that the opposite is true. Like, I do not understand these people, because what do you mean you think that that's less confusing? Let me like spell this out, all right? Okay, so option 1, you have a boy who is interested in makeup and wants to play with makeup, and you say, go for it, have fun, makeup is for everyone. Boys can enjoy makeup, so you can wear makeup. Boys can wear dresses, you can wear a dress. Boys can like play with Barbies, so you can play with Barbies. You are saying boys can do anything, so do it and have fun. Or option B, where a boy enjoys wearing makeup and you say, no, makeup is for girls. If you enjoy makeup, you are a girl. Dresses are for girls. If you wear a dress, you are a girl. Only girls wear dresses. Only girls like makeup. Only girls like Barbie. In which situation, if your son likes wearing makeup, do you think he is going to be more confused? Right? Which one is going to give him a gender crisis? The one where you say boys can like makeup. If you like makeup, that is okay because boys can like makeup. Or when your son likes makeup and you say makeup is for girls, only girls like makeup, he's going to be like, oh, well, if boys can't like makeup and I like makeup, does that mean I'm a girl? That's what you're teaching. Like, if anyone is the one who is forcing a gender identity crisis onto children, it is you. You're the ones doing all the confusing shit. Like, gendering things is the problem, right? Like you talk about like trans regret or whatever, which is very low, right? Like a very low number of people detransition or regret transitioning or anything. And I feel like there are a few of those at least where like they have ended up thinking they were trans because they grew up in these environments that like heavily enforce these gender roles. And so they thought that if they enjoyed those and fit inside that box more, it meant that their gender was wrong because they were told that their entire lives. Whereas if you were being raised with being like anyone can like anything, you're not going to have that question as much, right? Like it's less likely you're going to be confused because you have an understanding that anything is for anyone and it isn't related to your gender. Your gender is who you are and how you feel, not what you like and how you express yourself. Like that just seems like basic common sense to me. And I do not understand how these people think the opposite. Making sure to never act girly around my son since he copies everything I do. Because, you know, raising your kid while being inauthentic is absolutely the way we should be doing it. We should be always teaching our kids to be completely inauthentic and lying about who they are so that others can perceive them in the way that we want them to perceive us. And I mean, to be fair, that is what she's trying to instill, I guess, because, you know, she's saying that if he likes girly things, he should keeping that in and instead express himself more masculine. Like he should be inauthentic if he enjoys femininity. So I guess she is setting the example that she wants to set. However, my question comes in here, and this is a question I have overall for a lot of these people, is why is it okay for you to act masculine? If we're enforcing gender roles and you are saying that you want your son to follow a strict masculine gender role because he is a boy, why are you, a woman, allowed to act masculine? Why aren't you being feminine? It's just so hypocritical. It's like girls can be masculine. Girls can dress in whatever clothes they want. They can play with whatever toys they want. They can do whatever. They can be masculine. They can be feminine. It doesn't matter. That's fine. Boys, however, they have to be masculine. They have to fit into the boy-man role because femininity is weak. We don't want to see femininity. That's not desirable. That's not a good trait. It's weak. We don't want weak men. We don't want vulnerable men. We don't want men to think that femininity is good. Think about how they'll treat women if they like femininity. It's just astounding that, like, the double standard they have of being like, I love gender roles. But it's not I love gender roles, it's I hate women. Like, you can't be trying to, like, raise your kid with gender roles and say that that's important to you when what you mean is that you just don't want boys to be feminine. It's just misogyny disguised as transphobia, or it's transphobia and misogyny, like, combined. It is both of those things. But I just know, like, so many of these parents are the same people who, like, if their sons are expressing interest in, like, more, like, girly things, they're gonna be like, oh my god, my kid is gay. Oh my god, my son's gonna grow up gay. Oh my god, my son's gonna be confused about his gender. Whereas when their daughters do the same thing, they don't ever think that, because, like, it's okay for girls to do things. It's okay for girls to express masculinity and do more typically boy things, because that's just being strong. Masculinity is good. We should embrace masculinity. We should encourage masculinity. And it's just, like, it's so frustrating and so upsetting. It's just so misogynistic. So much of this is just based in misogyny. And it's so sad. And it is, yeah, like, teaching these kids that femininity is bad. And when you are teaching boys that femininity is bad, all that's gonna do is lead them to disrespect and mistreat women and view them as less than them, because they just don't think femininity is good, because you've been punishing them their entire lives for displaying any traits of femininity. This says, how society tells me to raise my kids, and it's kids wearing, like, pride merch and holding pride flags and having a sign that says, I love my dads, and at pride parades. And then it's how I'm gonna raise my kids, and it's, you know, people walking hand in hand wearing, like, neutral colors. They're out in nature, they're cooking, they're having campfires, they've got a golden retriever, they're going on bike rides along the beach, because, you know, gay people don't do those things. Queer people don't ride bikes. We don't cook food. We don't have golden retrievers. We don't go outside or to the beach. We don't hold hands. Never. Oh my gosh. We only go to pride parades. If I'm leaving the house, I'm going to pride. And when I'm at home, I also don't cook because gay people can't cook. I don't know. Or is it about the colors here? Queer people don't dress in beige. I am a bad example of that. Today I am wearing the color scheme. It's so funny. It's just so funny to me to like imply that queer people don't have, like, family. Like, your family and the way you're, like, playing games together and watching TV together and cooking together. Like, I don't know how to tell you this, but we are also doing that. We're just, like, also at the same time telling them it's okay to be who they are, right? But even that aside, I'd like to circle back once again to the question I asked at the beginning. What society are you living in? And can I live there? Because I want to live in this society where the majority are, like, celebrating pride. I want to live in the society where the majority of people are, like, telling their kids it's okay to be who they want to be. I want to live in that society. I would love to live in a society without transphobia, without queerphobia. I feel like that'd be really, really good, where, like, there aren't actively harmful legislations being passed, where there isn't actively, like, tens of thousands of people being kicked out of their houses just for being who they are, where people aren't denied, like, necessary medical care, where people are hate crime. This is happening every day. People are dying. People are being killed. People are losing their lives every single day because this is not the society that we live in. You're fucking delusional. You're delusional. Most of your country is fucking Christian. I don't know why these people can't get it through their heads, but a majority of the US is Christian and also conservative, because even the fucking Democrats are conservative. It's so frustrating, right? Because they, like, fearmonger in this way, where they love to pretend that their existence is under threat. They're, like, out here being like, these queer people are taking everything from us. They're taking it away from us. We have to fight back. Fight back against what? No one is taking anything from you. No one is taking anything from you. That's not happening even a little bit. You are not under threat. No one is asking you to change other than just telling you to be accepting. That's literally it. You don't have to give anything up. You can carry on living your life however the fuck you want. You can be a fucking trad wife if that's what you want to be. I don't care. Just love your kids. That's literally all we're asking, is just love your kids and like accept that people are going to live their lives in the way that they want to live them, right? But these people are like just so threatened by their positions being threatened, right? They don't like people being on par with them. And it's so funny because you can tell it's very much of like, they like the position of privilege that they have. Yeah. They like being above people. And so when they feel like people are moving up, not to be above them, but to be on the same as them, they hate it because they want to continue to be above them. And they also feel threatened because they've done nothing to deserve the spot that they have, right? Them just like being born and existing is what gave them the position of power that they have. And so when people fight for it and that spot, they feel threatened because they're like, oh, well, if you're actually like caring about shit and like fighting and like doing stuff, then you've earned to be here. And so you can take it from me. And it's like, okay, but the solution is instead to like earn your spot, not to like stop other people from taking it, right? Like we can all be here together. We can all exist together. There doesn't have to be fighting. No one is taking anything from you. And if you feel like someone is taking something from you, how about you just like, I don't understand how you could feel like people are taking anything from you. I'm sorry you feel threatened, but like not really, because why are you feeling threatened, right? If you feel like you have something you shouldn't have, maybe you should reflect why you feel that way, right? If you feel like you don't earn your spot in society, maybe you should think about why you don't feel like you have earned it. Like, why don't you deserve it? And then like do something about it so you do feel like you deserve it. Raising my children to embrace the gender they were born, because I never want to hear, Mom, I think I want to be a boy/girl. Let kids be kids. Let kids be kids, they say, as they take toys out of their hands because they are for the other gender. Let kids be kids, unless they have a penis and want to play with a Barbie. And then they're not allowed to do that. That's not okay. They're not allowed to, I'm sorry, they're not allowed to do that. They're not allowed to have fun because that's for girls and you are a boy. But let kids be kids though. That means forcing gender roles onto them that they don't understand and mean absolutely nothing to them because they have no concept of what any of that actually means. You cannot be sitting here and saying that I am not letting a kid be a kid. We are not letting kids be kids because we are letting them like play with things. We are letting them experience life and learn things for themselves. The kids can dress how they want. They can play with what they want. They can express themselves how they want. I am not forcing adult ideas on them about how I perceive gender, right? These gender boxes are created by us, yeah? And you forcing them onto a child, that is you not letting them be a kid. That is you forcing them to think about things that mean nothing to them and impact their life in no way at this point in time. I just feel like if anyone's not letting the kids be kids, it is these people. They're the ones not letting kids be kids. So, you know, some food for thought, guys. And on that note of like taking toys out of your kid's hand because the toy they're playing with does not match the genitals they have, this next one is one of the most absurd TikToks I've seen. I kept watching this expecting it to be a joke. Like I've watched it multiple times now and still every time I watch it I keep waiting for it to be a joke, but it's not. It's like this is like dead serious and I am baffled by it.
My son was born a male. He was born a boy. Therefore, I will never allow him to play with anything that girls play with. He's not allowed to play with Barbies. He's not allowed to play with makeup. And he's not allowed to dress like a girl. I have raised both my boys like that. And if you as a parent let your male child do that at your home and that works for you, then fine. But that is not going to work in my household. So when my 5-year-old and his 2-year-old sister are playing, I make sure that he's playing with his toys and she is playing with hers. They could play together, but they're not going to play with each other's toys. And yes, if he grabs a Barbie, I will tell him that is a girl toy and you're not going to play with that. And one more thing, I have nothing against anybody in the LGBTQ community. I have so many friends that are a part of that, and I love them to pieces. But this is just my opinion for my child. Like I said, when he's older, he wants to do his own thing. Hey, do it. But not at his 5-year-old age.
What do you mean? It's so absurd to me. Absurd to me to say that, like, your son and your daughter can play together. But if your son reaches for your daughter's toy whilst they are playing together, you're like, no. Sorry, you're not allowed to do that. That is for girls. That is your sister's toy. You are not allowed to touch it. And you think that's less confusing? This is just completely baffling to me. What do you, like, genuinely, what do you think the outcome is going to be of your son playing with a Barbie with his sister? He is playing with his sister and he's not even allowed to touch her toy. So if you have a dog, if you have a dog and you're like throwing the ball for the dog, is he not allowed to touch the ball until he's 18? Because if he throws the ball to the dog, he might think that he's a dog. And that's confusing. If your dog wants to play tug of war, until he's an adult, your son is not allowed to play tug of war with the dog, not allowed to pick up one of the rope toys, because if he picks up one of those rope toys, he might get confused and think he's a dog, right? We can't be having that. If boys play with Barbies, they think they're a girl. If boys play with dog toys, they think they're the dog. Like, you understand how ridiculous it sounds when we're talking about it like that, right? Like, you can see how absolutely delusional you're being when you think of it like that, right? I promise you, playing with toys does not alter the way they perceive themselves unless you are telling them that it means something, which you are. Listen, I grew up with, when I was a kid, like 5, 6, one of my neighbors was Mormon, right? It's the only Mormon person I've ever met. He was my, like, childhood boyfriend. He was my boyfriend when I was like 4, 5, 6, right? And that meant, he was coming over to my house all the time and I put him in fairy dresses. I covered him in makeup. Like, that's what we did. And he came from a conservative Mormon household. And, like, did he grow up thinking he was trans or queer? Nope. I actually blocked him recently because I found out that he is, in fact, quite homophobic and transphobic. And yet, I mean, unsurprisingly, and yet as a kid, he wore makeup and fairy dresses because I asked him to, and so he did. Never once was he ever confused, right? I loved Hot Wheels and, like, trucks and, like, all the sort of, like, boys' toys when I was a kid. But I also really enjoyed the girls' toys. I was a very girly child, but I still enjoyed other things as well. And I am a cis woman. Like, yes, I am queer, but I've never had a gender crisis. That's not something that I've ever experienced. And I grew up in a household where there were no gender lines or, like, gender roles enforced. That's not something I grew up with at all. And I've never been confused about my gender. I feel like I potentially would have had, like, more like a gender crisis at some point if I was constantly told as a kid that the things I enjoyed meant that I was a boy, right? Then, yeah, possibly I would have had a bit of a gender crisis. That's why we shouldn't be enforcing gender roles, and we should just be saying everything is for everyone. And the things that you like do not at all correlate to the gender that you are. That's the harmful idea. And that goes for both sides, right? Because you see these conservatives on this side being like, well, you know, people on the left, those people over there, they're telling their kids that they are trans. Their son likes makeup, so they're telling him, you're a girl. And I can't say that doesn't happen, right? I'm sure that there are instances of that happening, but I can tell you that that's also bad. That's not what we're advocating for. The entire point is saying, like, if you think you are a boy, that's fine. If you think you are a girl, that is fine. If you are something else, that is also fine. Tell me what name you want me to call you, what pronouns you want me to use, and I will do that. And if that changes, that's fine too. You have time to figure that out. And as you grow up, you will figure it out. And I think as a kid, if that's something they're questioning and playing with, they're more likely to like put it on and then be like, oh, that doesn't feel quite right, so I'm actually gonna like take that off again. And like giving them the space to grow and adapt and figure things out is a good thing, and it's going to make it easier when they are older. The point is to not enforce gender roles. The point is to not say this means you are this. The point is to just be like, you are who you are, and who you are is who you tell me you are. That's it. That's the rule. I will love and accept you no matter what you like or how you choose to identify. And I don't understand what's so hard about that. Like, it just is baffling to me that that's not like a common understood idea. And I don't understand how you can veer off of that and like how you can think that is bad or harmful in any way. And like this woman at the end being like, I have nothing against the LGBT people. I have LGBT friends. But what? You just are afraid of raising a queer child? That's it? It's like, I love queer people, but like I really don't want a queer child. Like, I'd be fine if he's gay, but like only later in life. You've got to give him space to figure it out, man. And I promise the toys that he plays with are not impacting that. He's going to be trans whether he plays with Barbies or not. He's going to be gay whether he plays with Barbies or not. Your restriction doesn't matter. It just means he's going to spend longer confused and unhappy and will be less likely to tell you. Yeah, that's the thing with all of these people. Is like, no matter how you're raising them, they are going to be what they are. The difference is whether you are making it easy and safe or if you're making it like confusing and scary. Right? And like these people who are enforcing these rules, like if their kids do at any point realize that they are queer, they are going to cut their parents off if they aren't kicked out. And I just like, it's so sad. It's so fucking sad. And it's like so pointless. There is no need for it at all. We could just be raising our kids and letting them be kids and figure it out. And this is the thing as well of like a lot of these people being like, when he's older, he can play with girls' things. When he's older, he can, and it's like, how old is older? Because a lot of people say 18. She said, well, he's in my house. Yeah, a lot of people in the comments and on other videos, they're like, when they're 18, they can do what they want. And that's also just so batshit to me, because the fact you don't think a person has autonomy until they're 18 is what the fuck being like, he doesn't know what he wants until he's an adult. He doesn't know who he is or what he likes or have any interests of his own. He's actually not allowed to make any decisions for himself until he is an adult, because anyone who's not 18 doesn't have any knowledge, knows nothing. They don't know who they are or what they want. They are exactly what I tell them to be. And that is how I know you went into parenthood completely wrong. Your kids are not puppets. You guide them, yes. You give them like love and you give them guidance, but you can't tell them who they are. You can't make decisions for them once they get to a point where they can start deciding things for themselves. And they can start deciding things so young. Your 4-year-old knows he wants to play with a Barbie. You should let him play with a Barbie because that is what he wants to do. And being like, when he's 18, then he can wear a dress if he wants to. If he's figured out that he likes wearing dresses by the time he's 18, you think his 17th, the night before he turns 18, he's never been allowed to wear a dress even if he's wanted to. The next day, you're like, okay, now you can decide if you want to wear a dress. I trust you. You are old enough to make your decision. That one night made all the difference. You've had 18 years to decide if you like wearing dresses. And now he has to like figure that out and experiment and stuff going into adulthood, where other people have been able to like grow and experience that and figure it out as they've been younger. It's just like a lot of people talk about how queer people have like a second teenagehood. It's like people who weren't accepted or out like when they were teenagers and like at school, they couldn't do all the things their peers were doing. They weren't living that life. So then in their 20s, they're finally able to express themselves and learn and grow, and they start entering relationships for the first time and doing all of that. They are doing all the things that a lot of people were doing as teenagers, but in their 20s because they never got the chance to do it. You're just delaying that experimenting and that figuring out to a point that is later. Like it's just going to be later, you know? And it could have been so much easier if they'd had the space and the security and support to do it earlier, right? There's nothing wrong with figuring shit out in your 20s, obviously. But like, it would save a lot of time if you were just able to do it earlier, right? There are definitely teenagers who know more than so many adults. Like, so many of these parents, like this woman, right? I am so certain there are 15-year-olds out there who are more like politically aware than she is, who are more aware of like what is going on in the world than this woman is, like necessarily like smarter or wiser just because you are older, because you don't take the time to have that knowledge, right? You are not better than anyone. You do not get to dictate everything that your child does until they are fucking 18 years old. Like, that's absurd. That's absurd. How do you expect your child to be a like fully functional adult by the time they're 18 if they've never been allowed to make a decision for themselves? How are you looking at a 16-year-old and being like, you're too young to know if you like dresses? Is he too young to know if he likes the color blue? Like, if he's old enough to know his favorite fucking color, he's old enough to know what he wants to fucking wear. You don't know that you like wearing dresses because you're not old enough to figure that out. Fuck off. Oh my God. Why are you putting so much pressure on that? It's a fucking piece of fucking fabric. I just said fuck way too many times, but I don't understand. It's infuriating and it bothers me a lot. Anyway, there's obviously a lot of this that exists and it is beyond infuriating. Like, the transphobia and the misogyny around it is absolutely fucking wild, and it's so upsetting that it is still so prominent and there is so much of it. I am going to mix it up a little bit here because I feel like it is incredibly easy to get lost in how much of this negative bullshit and like how many of these gender roles and things are continuously being pushed by saying that there has been a massive pushback on this, right? Once all of these started being posted, a lot of other parents started pushing back and posting videos of their own kids with how they're raising their kids. And I just want to share one of those with you and let you know that there are like so many of these as well. Like, I would say that of the videos I was finding when I searched this up, it was about 50-50, I will say, which it's upsetting that it was still a 50-50 mix, but at the same time, I was on my conservative burner account, so I expect to see more of that up the top, right? Anyway, I just want to show you this one. One thing I'm not afraid to admit as a boy mom. My son is a boy. He was born a boy and he will be raised a boy, but he loves rainbows and unicorns, pink, and playing with girls' toys, dressing up in any costume, and wearing nail varnish and mermaid tattoos. And if one day he decides he wants to marry George instead of Georgia, then that is 100% fine with me. Or if one day Nate realizes he's Natalie and not Nate, then that's okay as well, because whether he chooses to marry a man or a woman or live his life as a male or female, he will always be my baby, and I will love him unconditionally. Why am I crying? Oh my God. I view this as what should be normal, right? So it really shouldn't make me as emotional as it does, but considering everything else I've just talked about, it's just really nice to be reminded that like there are good parents out there, right? Like there are parents out there who are raising their kids in this way. And it's funny again that I'm emotional because this is also how I was raised, right? So it's not like I need reminding, like it's not healing my own trauma seeing that, because I'm not going to say fortunate in the way that, like, if I say I'm lucky, I feel like it's more that people are unfortunate if they aren't, because being raised like this should be neutral, right? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's really sad that we say, like, I am so lucky to have been raised in an accepting household. Like, that shouldn't be the way that it is, and it makes me really sad that we do view it that way, right? Like, it's just really fucked. Like, this should be the neutral thing. This shouldn't be something that you say, I'm so grateful, I'm so glad that I was raised this way. It should just be like, this is how people are raised. And it's fucked up and so upsetting that anyone gets less than that, especially with how many people get less than that, right? But I just think it's really important because I know a lot of you were also raised in households that weren't very accepting and possibly are still in households that aren't very accepting. It's just important to know that, like, you know, parents who are lovely and they love their kids and they support their kids no matter what. And there are people who are being very open about that and talking about that. There is people actively pushing back, right? Like, no matter how much our voices try to be silent, like we aren't quiet. And we won't be quiet. And I just think it's really good to, you know, I spend so much time talking about all this negative stuff and like, all this bigotry that is happening. And I know that my voice is actively saying that it's wrong. And you hear me personally talking about how I disagree and like why I disagree. And you know that obviously myself and all of you are on that side as well. But it's nice to see it from other places as well, right? Like especially seeing it from parents, because I know a lot of people really do find that very healing. So I hope that this felt a bit healing to you to see that and know that there are so many more of those as well. There is love out there. There is hope out there. The world is changing a lot. We're going through a lot right now. And I know that it seems like incredibly bleak, but there is some light in there, right? The reason there is such a massive push from conservatives and towards conservatism is because of how loud and brave we got and how strong our community became. So like, remember that is there. We are here and like you are loved no matter what. And, you know, in dark times, just remember to hold on to that little bit of light and don't let it go, because I promise it is still there, and no matter what, you are loved. Yeah, on that emotional note, I hope you enjoyed the video. A huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons: Polar Bee, Sienna, Alicia, Marielle, Bree, Bay the Trucker, Chastity, Beckett, Prismatic Petey, Sushi Kawaii, Phil the Duck, Jessie, River, Queen Glimmer, Ella, Mr. Noodle, Radsack, Knitting Menace, Chris, Ellie, Alexis, and Bobby. I love and appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah. When you close your eyes, you replay